Yo, grinders! Happy New Year to everyone. It is 2019. Oh, baby, there we go. What a start. There's some reverb right there for you guys. Oh, baby, we're back. It's 2019. I want to thank everybody for all the love and support that you guys gave me in 2018. And I hope to deliver some more drama, and some more grinding episodes for you guys out there. And we're here. It's 2019. Shit's hit the fan. I have a couple of topics I want to talk about. Maybe I got a glass of water this time because every time I do these things, I seem to my voice goes, and then I can't do another one for the next few days. So we're gonna keep this. I got a glass of water this time. I'm gonna make sure that I don't get parched when I do my discussions. There's not too much stuff. We haven't had an inside Xbox yet, so or some bullshit XO18 yet to really get my blood going. There's been a couple of things, but again, 2019. I want to balance it. You got to look at the good and the bad on both ends, and then what we're gonna get. So I'll talk about that a little bit in 2019, but. The biggest news that came out, man, that puckered everybody's ass up was the big Bungie news. Bungie has ceased the deal with Activision and the whole Destiny thing. They're going to maintain the publishing and the rights to make future Destinies. What's up, the Coon? What's up, Stardust? Don't call me Danny. Socrates was here. Early bird gets the worm. What's up, guys? So, Bungie. So, what I did was like, oh, shit, Bungie's leaving Activision. Everybody went crazy. We got a whole bunch of videos and tweets, and all the shit was going down. So, I was like, you know what? Let me go look at the Bungie Activision contract. Like, what was it? Because guess what? It was 10 years, right? We're at 9 years right now. Like we're right at the cusp of it. I don't think a Destiny 3 was coming this year or anything like that. So we have to look at it as, was it Activision who initiated it? Who was Bungie? Who said we're done? And I think more will come out as we go. I think it's great for Bungie to move on. My personal opinion is I think it's great for Bungie to move on and explore Destiny and where we got to go with it. And just wanted to say before I get into it, like and share the video. I know that everybody's aware of that whole YouTube thing at the end of January 23rd. It's not going to share videos when you hit like, and the January 31st. I mean, so share the video out, get people in here. Let's get that discussion going, because we got a fun stuff to talk about. So back to the Bungie thing. What's up, the finest? What's up, man? So they, I think it's great for Destiny. I think, it's good for Bungie to explore their IP. Hold on, I'm drinking my water now. But I think more details are going to come out as to what the fallout was. But, I wanted to share out my thing, because a lot of people are just like, Bungie just came into Activision and said, get the fuck out of here. I'm out of here. I'm taking my Destiny and running. So I did share this clip of the and hold on to the chat. I'm not gonna be able to talk to you guys. What the wrong button? PC horse shit. Where's this thing? There we go. I'm gonna share my screen and go over this little thing here. We got some bonkers stuff here. So you can see my screen right now. There we go. Yeah, okay. I got these two things up. So, so this is the Bungie Activision contract. I got it from Fandom, but it pulls out some of the bullet points. And one of the ones that I was kind of like interested in was this one right here from the contract. Now, again, this contract was back on May 21st, 2012. The Spirit Code ordered that Bungie contracted Activision, sealed during discovery of Activision West and Palo West. So it's 2012. So is 7 years. We're like on the 8th year right now. But a couple things didn't come to fruition, as we know. Like it said, they were going to have they were contracted to have 4 MMO games. So it's supposed to be like 4 Destinies. And then expansion DLC. Well, it was supposed to start in 2013. It got delayed. 2014 it came out. So a lot of the things didn't happen. And it said Bungie will receive $2.5 million per year from 2010 to 2013 to develop Destiny. So, but the biggest thing is this: Activision has previously confirmed retains the exclusive right to publish all Destiny titles. However, Bungie retains the ownership of Destiny intellectual property regardless of its relationship with Activision. So I think the biggest thing to take away wasn't that Activision owned the IP and Bungie took it from them. It was more of that Bungie now, I believe Activision just said, hey, you could publish future Destinies. We don't want it anymore. And it kind of goes on the lines because remember at the end of last year where Bungie said the Forsaken really didn't do what it wanted to do, and they kind of said it was a failure, and then Bungie kind of countered that, going, well, no, we think it was a success. We listened to what the fans want. There was definitely some hot water that everybody was in. But I do think that I think Activision didn't renew. Like, see, I think it would have been Activision's job to renew the deal, to extend Destiny to the next generation and stuff. But Activision, I don't think finds value in the IP. I think it dropped off from Destiny 1 was huge, and then Destiny 2, kind of the people that got screwed with 1 were like, I'm not doing 2, even though they fixed it, but they took stuff out. Now they put it back in. It is kind of annoying. You really have to be a hardcore Destiny fan. Now, full disclosure on this one, I'm going to stop my screen share so I can see the chat. But I played the beta to Destiny 1, and I was like, yo, this is like poor man's Halo right now. Like, this really was like, it was Halo. That's basically what it was to me. Like, they had the brutes, same type of enemies, that jackals. Like, I just like, oh, I'm shooting jackals. I'm like, why isn't this just Halo? Because the control and the enemy types and the way the enemies behave are so like Halo. It's Halo Horde mode. Like, that's what Destiny is. That's what it felt to me. And as somebody who played all the Halo games, playing Destiny 1, I was like, oh, I felt dirty. That's what I'll say. I felt dirty. Dirt. I felt some dirty. Because what happened is I felt like I was playing, like I said, like this is supposed to be Halo, but it's not Halo. It's a bunch of other enemies, and it was kind of off-putting. Like, but I guess people who haven't played Halo, yeah, this is incredible because it had like the whole grunts with the leader, the elites, and it was definitely the enemy types. Like, my goodness, like jetpacks, like, my God, you can match it up. And it's friggin' Halo, basically. Tank, and then Destiny 2 even did even more with the tank battle. You're going through shooting the tank on that one mission, and it's like, yo, it's Halo. Like, it's basically Halo. Like, it had its moments. Your thing is just like 3-4, just like the Spock. You got your ghost is just like it's just like Spock. It's just like the Spock in Halo, the AI. And it talks to you. You don't really speak until Destiny, the Forsaken, but it definitely has a lot of things with Halo, a lot. And if you play a lot of Halo, Destiny was like a perfect glove, like it fit. So Destiny 1, I wasn't a huge fan of. I was like, yeah, this is just like a weird Halo. Like, I don't know what's going on. I bought it with the Taken King, played it. Eventually, I really didn't have anybody to play with. So like just grinding through it, like protect the ghost, was kind of boring. It felt like a lot of a grind. I didn't play too much of the Taken King. I played probably about 10, 11. I went through some of the campaign and got bored of it. Multiplayer was pretty cool. I thought that was not bad. But then Destiny 2, I jumped on day one. And Destiny 2 had a much better story on it. This is my opinion. Again, it's my opinion. It had a great story. I didn't mind jumping in with a bunch of co-op, but even playing it by myself, Destiny was pretty cool. Oh, sorry, man. Sorry, Coon. Spoiler alert. Yeah. I know. I almost fell out of my chair when I was like, holy shit, he speaks. But the gameplay, it was the same. But the campaign was really good. It had a pretty cool story, really interesting. And, I've been playing the Forsaken. I played a lot of Destiny, too. I was like, oh, this is really good. Like, this is definitely much better story-wise, and it pulled you into it a lot better than I felt like the first one was very fragmented. Now, again, this is my opinion on it. So I am not one of those people that live and breathe Destiny. I got like to level 350, level 400, light level. I went through all the DLCs that came out. Now I got the Forsaken. I'm going through that right now. I played some raids. Those were fun. I'll tell you, that is some amazing stuff. Trying to get a bunch of guys together and really, like, I'm gonna go here, you go here, ready, go. You're doing this. And I shout out to Fame and Kev. We played that was awesome. Like, we had I tell you, the whole month of September and October of the year Destiny 2 came out, man, we were in that all the time. But then, then all the other themes came out, and everybody goes back and you jump in and out. But it was really fun. And the raid was really cool. It was very challenging. We didn't get through it. I know people beat in like 15 minutes and shit like that. But again, I am not the diehard Destiny person. I'll jump in, play some game, jump in with co-op, do some death match and stuff like that, play some of the that stuff. So, but I'm looking forward to where Bungie takes it, because Bungie knows how to make a great game. And as we know, with Halo, their biggest thing is like, 30 seconds of fun, and just keep repeating it. I don't know if it's 30 seconds or a minute, but it's definitely like you take a snippet of something, you make sure that's fun, and then you just replicate it, and you throw different variables in it to continue. So, and you keep the gamer engaged, but you got to make sure that there's a core of fun and excitement, and that's the gunplay and the AI and the way the enemies react, and they hide, and they come up, and they have a leader and a couple of other grunts around them. That if you kill the leader, they the grunts kind of scatter and go, "Oh no, our leader's gone!" And then the AI is pretty intelligent in that way. Like, that was always Halo, and they brought that to Destiny. So I'm excited. Bungie can make a great game. I would love to see them just explore it. And really, I think the challenge was just the way the content rolled out and the fragmentation of the game, and that you needed the base game, and then you needed the Forsaken, but the Forsaken included the DLC, season passes, and all that kind of other stuff that added to a lot of the confusion of a game. Like, as a game that's expanding, like it was confusing, and I don't know how much of that was on Activision, but how much of that was on Bungie. But that Bungie was not really, Activision was not really satisfied with where Destiny fell. And now, if you look at the original contract, they were supposed to make 4 games. Bungie only made 2 with 2 expansions, which you could consider the Taken King as game 2 and the Forsaken as game 4. And that's kind of their 4-game contract, but it really wasn't. You could look at it like that. But Activision didn't find value in the IP of Destiny. I think that's one of the biggest things to take away, that really everybody's looking at this as a freedom for Bungie, which I think is great. But you got to look at Activision as a publisher who doesn't have that much. They don't have that much. Like Overwatch, it's going downhill. It's still competitive and stuff like that. But, Overwatch, Call of Duty, I think they saw the limelight they weren't too proud of Call of Duty, but Call of Duty's Blackout mode, I think, really hit a good spark with them. And they kind of see like, oh, that this is something we could pursue. And I guess they just didn't find the value with Destiny. And also too, Activision maybe just saw Battlefield just not having the clout that it used to have that could hurt Call of Duty, and EA's botching of Titanfall, thinking that, they're competing publishers around the same time. EA really fell flat on their face with Titanfall. Like, they try to do everything to dethrone Call of Duty. And Activision's like, Call of Duty has a lot of legs. Like, maybe we do spin-offs of Call of Duty and not need to continue with this Destiny thing. But obviously, Destiny, they didn't choose to renew it. So we'll find out more about it. But it does say something for the Destiny brand. I think Bungie will do a great job with Destiny. I know that they have signed something else with a Chinese company where, if you look at, actually, this is one of the things I wanted to show too, but they signed with another company that has this global appeal. And I think that's one of the biggest things when they left Microsoft. They wanted this kind of global dominance. And this is very interesting. And this is what I was thinking. And I'll show what I have here. But what I was thinking, and again, this is just speculation. Halo was a huge brand, but as we see with sales and things like that. It really, Microsoft really doesn't have that kind of global dominance or global outside of the United States. And maybe, Bungie knew, being a US owned studio, had that trouble with being kind of this global dominance, and trying to get out there. And they used Activision as a way to kind of get them on the world map, basically. And as you see that and I found the tweet somewhere. I don't think I have it up though. But basically, this was why they left Microsoft, or why they left from Microsoft. There was some, as we know, Halo was a big reason for it. But they now have some kind of global clout with Destiny, the brand. They got the IP out there. They own the IP. They'll publish the IP. So I think that, Bungie is now on its own independence. So because it was pretty funny, because when they left Microsoft, it was so strange that they said, we want to be independent, and then they go and just sign a deal with Activision, again, this huge publisher behind them, telling them what to do and have this contract obligations, when they just left Microsoft. And this is one of the emails that one of the Seattle Post interviewers had, an email tip about Bungie leaving Microsoft back in 2012. Was this 2007? Holy shit, 2007, right when they were working on Halo Reach, which was their last game. And he says here, this is the blog said from the Seattle Post intelligence blog. He says here, apparently Microsoft just wants Bungie to make Halo for the rest of their natural days, and Bungie doesn't like how Microsoft is constantly trying to handle everything they do. The way they market their games, the way they interact with their fans, basically saying the fact that they do appreciate their fans, and how stingy they are with their profits, comparable to the rest of the industry. So as of today, they're their own independent entity. They'll probably make Halo 4 for Microsoft, which they didn't do. However, they are also free to create new intellectual properties for whatever system they want, even though they prefer the Xbox platform, which was very interesting, because at the end they go, I remember when Microsoft said toodaloo, and here's the release from Microsoft, right? Back then, it says that they were, Bungie actually said, they're like, oh, well, we're mainly going to confirm, work with Xbox. And then they go partner with Activision and go put the game on PlayStation. So I know it was all just probably gentlemanly agreements, like shake hands, like, yeah, we'll like to work with you, but also we're going to work with, we're going to get our product on a console that has a little bit more global appeal, and we're going to go third party with that stuff, rather than just doing independent work for Microsoft. We're going to do something else. But then it was so weird that they wanted to be independent, but then they wanted to own their IP. And I think Activision was the stepping stone with this big contract for them to establish their IP, get it recognized globally, get it recognized on multiple devices such as PlayStation and on Xbox, so that they're more apparent on more consoles out there and on PC nonetheless. And then now they got the IP, they got the ball rolling. Now they could go and develop this, rather than being held to saying, you got to make DLC right now. You got a couple of years, get that DLC out. You promised us another Destiny, get us out. And working on that kind of timeline, now they could work on their own time. And I think that's one of the biggest things that they get rewarded out of this. But I do find that Activision may not find so much value in the Destiny IP, because according to the contract, they had publishing rights regardless of the relationship, but Bungie always owned the IP. Activision didn't own Destiny. But you can see what Microsoft said, this is an evolution of our relationship with Microsoft. That'll help us to expand both creatively and organization, blah, 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 blah. We continue to develop our primary focus on Microsoft platforms, which that was horseshit. That was a lie. And value the mutual prosperous relationship with our publisher, Microsoft Game Studios, on what they already have going, which was Reach. But yeah, so that's why we thought when Bungie left Microsoft that Bungie was still going to work independently, own their IP, but still publish and work closely with Microsoft. Then they turned to go right to Activision, sign the blood dotted line, And now where we are. And you know, when you sign with a big corporation like Activision, who's money, 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 that's Activision. You gotta hold to some stipulations. You better get those games out there, whether you're rushed. I don't care. You better figure it out. Oh, really? Gregor Von Doom, what's up, man? He says Sony published Destiny in Japan, I believe. I don't know. I gotta check on that one. But it got Destiny as a household name, you know? And what's interesting is that the way Destiny has grown, I thought that Activision would have some sort of value in that IP. Considering they don't have too much, you know, they got a world of, they got stuff from Blizzard, but themselves, like, you know, they got rid of the Spider-Man stuff. They got rid of that. They didn't renew that thing. Sony got that and, you know, made that. Activision don't have too many licenses. They got Spyro. They're doing those remasters with Spyro, Crash Bandicoot, which I'm sure they see tons of money in that with very low effort. You know, let's just like reskin these games, make them look really pretty, and let's package them up and send them out, and it sells crazy. You know, that's another nice deal that Activision does, who wants money. But you know, just with Destiny, you know, I just thought that, you know, it is a valued IP. I don't know how much it dropped, but you know that they were not happy with it. According, they didn't think that the Forsaken did too well on it. But I think for the game, I think for the IP, I think give it to the people that value that IP, that respect the IP, and let Bungie publish it and make the game that they want. Whether that's going to take another 3 years, whether they already have it done, I wish them luck, and I hope, you know, that they make Destiny, you know, the game that they always wanted to be, and make those expansions and the world what they want it to be, and not held to some sort of contract where they need to get this out. It's going to be a challenge, you know, self-publishing and things like that. And maybe they'll go with like somebody else to help publish them. I know one of the challenges was like physical discs, and now with digital delivery systems, and now more effectively, they should be good. But you know, Bungie, I'm glad they took the Destiny IP. I think, you know, we'll find out in the next game how much of it was Activision, and I'm sure we'll find more about it. But you do have to look at it the other side, and that's what I always do. I always look at the other side, and you got to look and see. Activision, you know, didn't see enough value in Destiny to renew or extend that contract, because Activision is the money. You know that. That's the money. You know, it's the devil, but they're the money. And they're going to put their money where they think they're going to make a profit. And if they came out and said that we weren't happy with this, then they're not reaping the benefits of their investment. They're an investment, a business, right? It's all business. It sucks as it is, guys. Gaming, all the way up top. They're suits, and it's a business. And they just didn't find value in extending that contract, giving more than $2.5 billion to them, and they just said, you know, see us, Bungie. And Bungie's like, well, we want to publish Destiny still. And Activision's like, all right, here you go. We don't want to publish it anymore. Which that's the change in the contract. But Bungie always I owned it. And I think that's one of the things that some people have been really thinking of, that Activision owned Destiny. And then Bungie said, get the fuck out of here, Activision. We're taking it. And we're out of here. No, they always owned the IP. Similar to, like, you know, how Microsoft, you know, with Sunset Overdrive, how, you know, Insomniac owned Sunset Overdrive, but Microsoft published it on their platform. So, like, you know, you could retain the IP. We're not going to buy the IP, because then we'll take it into the ground. And that's always the thing. And that's what development studios always want to do, is have IP, because that could put them, that's their lifeblood. Because then when they have intellectual property, they'll become more valuable, because now they're not just a workhorse studio. And I agree with Mr. Modern. He says that this is the best move Bungie could do. I can't wait to see. Yes, and I can't wait to see where Destiny goes, because you know Destiny 3 is going to be the Destiny that they wanted to make. And I think they made the Destiny that they wanted to make gameplay-wise, but I think it was more in the structure of the content delivery and the story and the evaluation of how that game should be that really confused a lot of people. And I think that's where you maybe Activision with their contract and stuff like that forced Bungie to either withhold content, or Bungie was like, well, we can't make a Destiny 3 in time, so we're going to pull content out. We're going to just make this big Destiny 2. We're going to take some of it out and put it in this thing and separate it out because they are held to some sort of standard in the contract. Now they could do what they want to do. And I think it will be great. And, I think, it's promising for all the Destiny fans out there and what Destiny 3 would be. And, I'm excited, and I think it's great because, but I think everybody got what they wanted. I think Activision got what they wanted. Bungie got the propel that they needed for getting Destiny everywhere and getting it as a household name and an IP. Now they could, and Activision got its money input for the first one at least, and possibly for the second one, but not so much for the Forsaken. But Activision didn't find saying that we need this IP here. And, it's good on them. I wish EA was a little more respectful, letting some of that IP go, like Titanfall. Let's Impella explore where he wanted to go rather than throwing his game out to the wolves. But, yeah. Well, as Gregor says, it says Destiny with Forsaken and the annual pass is the game Bungie wants. Content trickles in every week. Yes. I agree. Yes, they and Forsaken was one of the biggest things that they listened to the fans, and that's why everybody kind of came back. They're like, "Ooh, this is great," because they took out a lot of the content. Destiny 2, they kind of streamlined it more. That, and I know people are upset because I wasn't a hardcore Destiny 1 player, so I wasn't sure how much they've taken out. But yeah, I don't know about Blizzard though. Like, I don't know if Blizzard's gonna leave Activision. I just, the thing is that they're more of a partnership. I don't know their contract stuff, so I don't know if Blizzard could say goodbye. I don't know if Activision just outright bought them, but I don't know. I don't know. Activision's kind of a weird thing. They don't have a lot of IP, and I think they found some new kind of cash flow with the remasters of the old games that they have for IP. They saw how well Crash Bandicoot sold. They saw Spyro, and I don't know. I think Activision found the new sugar daddy in that, but we'll see. I'm glad that Destiny's still alive and Activision didn't kill it like EA killed Titanfall. So at least they gave them their freedom, and good on Bungie. Great. The one thing I did want to talk to, because I talked a lot on that thing, is this whole thing that Microsoft's going to buy Bungie back. Phil came out with a tweet saying, "Oh, I love to work with you guys as an independent studio, blah, 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 blah." Thing is, it would be great if Microsoft took Bungie back under their helm and said, "Do what you want to do," but they left. That I think it does show how dissatisfied we are with 343 making Halo, that we want the house that Bungie built back to slap some sense into the Halo team. Because I think the 343 team is struggling right now. I think they're riding the coattails of Halo. And we will see with Halo Infinite on where we're going with Halo. But Halo 4, like, it was, they added too much Call of Duty. You know what? We'll see. It's been down. Halo Reach was great. Halo Reach was fun. But Halo 4 was a little rough. The Didact and stuff, I don't know. That I didn't like all the enemy type. The Prometheans were trash. I don't like them. What's up, OBJ and Danny? And Blue Holmes, what's up, man? That's right. He said that hope Bungie makes a new IP that's not a stripper name. They're gonna call it Destiny's Thong. Yeah, of course Phil did. And let's say one thing, Mr. Monin, though. Sony did do theirs, but they did it from their Sony account. Phil did it from his account, and Ybarra, all the faces. "Oh, Bungie, we can't wait to work with you again. Blah, 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 blah. We chased you away, and we just wanted the Halo team." Yeah. Well, We'll see where Halo Infinite goes. I don't know, man. They messed up Master Chief Collection. The 343's track record is a little rough. It's a little rough right now. So, but it does show everybody wanting Bungie back, and that, come back and fix some Halo. We will see. But Microsoft will not be probably buying Bungie because Bungie wants to be independent, and now Bungie has leverage. Bungie has Destiny. Now, Bungie got the catapult they need. They got the finance backing from that Chinese company that got them in there. They are now good, self-sustainable. Like, they've pushed the child. The child could walk now. And they're ready to become a teenager and an adult. They're growing up. So I think Bungie now has matured. They're ready to go. They got the leverage now, and they don't need Microsoft and all those people buying them. And to come to think of it, if everybody, and this is the thing that grinds my gears, what's going to happen, grinds my gears, is that this whole Microsoft buying studios, if it's all about the multiplats and the best place to play, and exclusives are not what it's about, then why do we want Microsoft to buy studios to make exclusives? It's because exclusives matter. So let your balls drop, and exclusives matter, and admit it. And Microsoft has no exclusives now and moving forward until they come back and say, all that PC bullshit we're playing, we didn't mean it. It's all going to be on Scarlet. Good night, everybody. But as of right now, exclusives matter. Exclusives sell consoles. Exclusives move the industry forward because they move the hardware out there that developers develop for. So when you want Microsoft to buy studios, they could work with these studios on contracts. They didn't have to buy Remedy to get Quantum Break. They didn't have to buy Insomniac to get Sunset Overdrive. So you really got to look at why they're buying these studios. So everybody's like, more studios, more studios, more studios. Hey, let's see what they do with some of these studios before we want them to go buy up everybody. Rare came out with a lot of bullshit. Okay? So let's just chill out with the buying the studios thing. So everybody wants Microsoft just to keep buying studios. Let's see what they do and how they run these studios, because that's the biggest problem that they have. Because look, they worked in a great collaboration with State of Decay 2. That was an exclusive. They didn't have to buy Undead Labs. And they worked. The game still came out with bugs. The power of Microsoft. So now they just get a Microsoft paycheck now. Let's hold off. Let's see. Okay. Let's see how Microsoft does, because they lost a lot of developer mind share, and I feel like that they got to buy these studios now to get them to consider using Microsoft tools and development options, because I don't think anybody on their own is going to just go out on a whim and say, we're going to develop for the Xbox that Microsoft doesn't care about selling for with your Microsoft tools. Screw that. We're going to develop for the lead platform, and we'll port your game over to your console when we feel good and ready. And Microsoft's like, no, we want you to use all our cloud. We want you to use all our stuff. And the developer's like, well, you're not the lead platform. We need to develop for the lead platform, and then we'll put it over. So Microsoft's like, well, we got to buy people then to use our stuff. So that's probably what they're doing. And actually, if you look at their statement in their, that was the, and that's, did I go? Oh, I think I put it in my thing about how we're going to talk CES now, because I wanted to do this. And, the big news before Bungie, what's this now? The big news before Bungie dropped the bomb was the CES of Sony announcing that they sold 91 million PlayStation 4s. The hell's that noise? They sold 91 million. Spider-Man was at 9 million. Exclusive on one platform. One platform. Not on 700 million PCs and on 40 million Xboxes. It was on 90 million consoles and it sold 9 million. That's a huge success. And that's the power of the exclusive. It moved hardware. I think they sold like 5.3 million over the holiday. It moved hardware and it moved software. It's the base of that. You make a great game. If Spider-Man was a movie tie-in and wasn't a big seller, hardware wouldn't move as much. Games matter. It is so simple. And I said this on Planet Xbox. Just make great games and everything will fall into place. The services, everything will work. But we talk about clouds and game passes and using old games. We're going to talk about CES. So Sony dropped all this news, and then Microsoft's like, all bullshit, Sony. You dropped the news of sales. We're going to drop our year in review on Xbox Wire. You know what? You want to talk about how great you did in 2018? Well, we're going to talk about how great we did in 2018. And I'm going to look it up right now. Xbox Wire 2018 review. They celebrated the year. Hey, oh, here it is. So beautiful. Let's see. Oh, no. This is what it is. Not my year in review. I want to hear their year in review. Let me go to my thing. So Sony announced the sales. And now Sony's announcing hard sales numbers, right? And then and they also announced that 90 million PSN monthly users. And that doesn't count. And I know Microsoft counts a lot of other things in there. The point is that the dominance of Sony on a global level is really something that needs to be looked at. And the growth, too, of Nintendo with the Switch. And the thing is that it really shows that there is a place for consoles. It shows that exclusives do matter. And it kind of shows the opposite of what Microsoft is trying to push. And when you look at what Microsoft said, and I think, where is it? It was, well, you can look it up on Xbox Wire. I actually tweeted it out. I was like, who calculates this shit? Oh, here it is. This is, I'm going to share my screen one more time. We'll share my screen one more time. So this is the other thing. So there's the Xbox Wire article. So Sony says like this million and all this other stuff. It just happened to come out the same day. And then Microsoft says this about their year in review. We're seeing members play even more. Members increased their total gaming time on Xbox by 20% more than before, and also increasing their total number of games played by almost 40%, including titles outside of Game Pass. So it's not all the Game Pass. But I found the last sentence is hilarious. In addition, the average backlog game sees usage increase by 6 times after joining the Game Pass library. So what they're saying is that people are playing old games when they're included in Game Pass. That's what they pulled out of 2018's ass. I'd be shaking my head. Like, it was all about Game Pass. Game Pass is where it's at, people, right? That's where it is. It is a great value. And I think, for people jumping on Xbox now, a shout out to Meds, like he got one. It's a great, great thing because you get to experience everything for a low cost of entry. You don't have to go buy your collection. But for somebody who's been around the block a bunch of times and been there and wants new stuff, that's where Game Pass falters. Because the new stuff that they're putting in there is something where I'm waiting for the new games that they're putting in there. Now, they have been putting new indie games in there, games that you wouldn't try out and that you want to play. It's interesting, but it's nothing to go, this is the bee's knees, like this is the shit. And that's where we need their first party to come in and go, here's our games. You know, if you just put the hat on the other foot and think if Sony was doing this for the last 2 years, and Sony was like, subscribe for PlayStation Now, and you will get Horizon Zero Dawn, Lost Legacy. You will get Uncharted 4. You'll get God of War. You get Detroit. You'll get Spider-Man. You will sign up for that, and that's only $10 a month. Yo. So you got to look at the quality on the other hand. And Microsoft had those kind of games, and I think Gears 5 might be that. I'm hoping that Gears 5 doesn't introduce any crazy shit because it's part of Game Pass. Like, oh, here's the single player, it's episodic, or, you know, here's just a multiplayer. I don't know. I'm hoping that Gears 5 is just regular Gears 4 and Gears 5. And not some crazy kind of model because it's in the subscription Game Pass day one. We will see as we hear more about it. But as we go into the Sony mentioning those sales. Oh, yeah, the gameplays. Yeah, Sony did purchase Audio Kinetic. They did do that. And that was a big thing. I know there was a lot of going back and forth. Like, oh, Microsoft buying studios, Sony just buying audio. You know what? Microsoft bought LinkedIn. Actually, it turned out to be a gaming related because that's all everybody does now is go to LinkedIn and see who's hiring at Microsoft Studios. So I guess it's good that Microsoft owns LinkedIn. They all buy it. Microsoft owns Havoc. Nothing has changed. But I do think Sony does not have the Dolby Atmos. You know, maybe they'll integrate some sort of elite. I'm a huge audiophile. Like, I love headphones and surround sounds and all that other stuff. I think the Atmos is pretty good. I don't think it's as effective. You need a proper setup with like speakers in the ceiling. I don't think the bouncing with Atmos works that well. Like, you have to have a real different type of like ceiling and sit in the proper direction. But I think Atmos can be effective if it's set up properly. The headphones just simulate it, but it does sound. The 3D sound in some of Sony's games is only like 4 or 5 of them. But, you know, audio's another area. We talk frame rates. Audio's another area. If they could introduce that. But you got to remember, Sony also owns headphones, sound systems, TVs, things like that. So they're in the entertainment thing. So it's good, though. Might not be totally gaming related, but it's good. But just after Sony drops out of CES with those numbers, and Microsoft says that, you know, Game Pass made people play old games 6 times as much, we have the AMD conference. First, we had the NVIDIA one. Guy shows a $350 2060 graphics card and talks about hyper-threading. That's great. Whatever. I have a 980 Ti. These graphics cards are freaking ridiculous with all the prices and values and all this extra stuff. And then, you know, it is what it is. Then AMD comes out. And you can tell I'm in the PC, I'm in technology, but, you know, when it just gets like, hey, I'm just paying $600 just to say I got a 20 over a 9 or a 10. This is the same reason why the X and the S, like, you really got to show value. And there's also a lot of other things that that add up to these. You could buy graphics cards crazy, but if your CPU is old, that's going to be the bottleneck. And it's all a bunch of craziness. AMD has theirs. The reason why I'm talking about graphics cards is because, surprise, surprise, Phil Spencer comes out on AMD's stage. And he comes out there, and they just play the Golden Girls music. Because all he says is, thank you for being a friend. Thank you for being a friend. And then he walks off the stage. Way to go. Anyway, he just reconfirmed his partnership with AMD, but AMD makes all the graphics cards for all the consoles. I thought it was interesting about talking about the, you know, the backwards compatibility and making that work and, you know, all that stuff. Again, old games. He should have dropped the news. Like, did you see our Xbox Wire AMD? People like to play old games 6 times as more when they're put into Game Pass. Yay. You know what? And talked about the clouds and all this other stuff. That is what is important to them. It is not IP, not the games. And I know that wasn't the stage for it, But every word, every time he makes an appearance, it is like, I'm fixing Windows 10 Store, X018. Here I am at AMD's, the cloud, backwards compatibility. I am so happy that people playing the old games. It is just like the same old song, and we're sitting here 2 years in with not a fucking AAA friggin' game. New IP, let's go. My God. And thank goodness Gears 5 might save this year, but I don't know. The track record that Microsoft has me doubting because they managed to mess up everything. And speaking of one more hardware little mess up at CES, back to Microsoft's messaging. And here's the Jesus, here goes my fucking water. I tell you. Grinds my gears. Let's go. We're gonna bring this full circle now, everybody. Get ready. Get ready for the roller coaster. Like it up. So Razer comes out there. Because remember, we've been getting teased about this keyboard and mouse thing back at Inside Xbox, Major Nelson Flower Shirt episode. When Phil comes out, talked about X018 and talked about keyboard and mouse support coming to Xbox this holiday. Well, last holiday. And you'll hear more at X018. We heard X018. You'll hear more about it at CES because, we tease the news for the news. NVIDIA, the Razer comes out. We know Razer got big balls. All right. Their headphones, their accessories, everything is like plus 50% of what it should cost. So here we go. Here's the Razer thing. $250 US friggin' dollars for a wireless keyboard and mouse. Now, Microsoft doesn't support Bluetooth. So this is a dongle that sticks out of your Xbox wirelessly. Keyboard and mouse. Right? Another little tidbit. There's no port for a headphone jack to chat with your friends. Now, if you go watch Linus Tech Reviews, this is out already. Keyboard and mouse. You could use regular ones, right? But Linus Tech Tips came out and showed all this bullshit. You use a keyboard and mouse, you can't control the dashboard. You got to use the controller. Then on some games, you got to use the controller to hit A to start the menu. And then some games you can't use keyboard and mouse until you actually are in the game. Then you put your controller down and then you use keyboard and mouse. But if you go back to the dashboard, you got to get your controller out and do this. And it's the same fragmented bullshit on the PC. When I hit my friends list, I'm playing with my controller. I got to use my mouse and keyboard to navigate the Xbox app. It doesn't coincide with each other. That shit's been out for over 2 years, and they still never fixed it. The Xbox app sucks. When you're trying to play a game, you hit the button, you can record, but you click on friends list or you want to go to your friends list, it opens up the app. You got to go up to your computer and play. Up to you got to use keyboard and mouse. Put the controller down, do this. On top of that, now back to the Xbox. When you use your keyboard and mouse, the controller vibrates and rumbles. And they showed us on Linus Tech Tips. Linus, he's a big PC guy, saying that it's fragmented, and it's all fragmented in the game. On top of that, Ybarra reiterates that they are going to make keyboard and mouse support on Xbox. It's up to the developer to decide how they want to handle the playlists. Go to Sea of Thieves forum and go see how many people want an option to get out of the PC people playing the game because they're running it with cheats and hotkeys and the competitive aspect of it. But they won't do that. Now, maybe they block it in the other thing, but who asked for this? Bleed green people out there. Who, when you lined up and froze your fucking nuts off in front of Best Buy for your fucking Xbox, were you saying, I want keyboard and mouse support? I want to deal with this bullshit? I can't wait to have Gears of War fucking 5 come out and deal with, holy shit, who's using a keyboard? Who's using a mouse? Is that the shit that you lined up for? That you bleed green and shit green? Is that what we want? Who Who fucking asked for this? Who? Who? And Microsoft has every fucking Xbox Live player on the console paying $60 fucking for a what? An even playing field? But Microsoft doesn't have the fucking balls to tell the developer, you must make a separate playlist. You don't leave it up to the developer, because tell me this, chat. What developer would walk into their game, say Sea of Thieves, keyboard and mouse support is only supported on some games and you could use it for chat. It only works on Fortnite on the PlayStation. This is bigger than that. Microsoft is leaving it up to the devs. What dev is going to walk into a computer, onto a game, and go, I'm going to split my fan base right now. I'm going to make a separate playlist for keyboard and mouse and a separate playlist for controller, and destroy their friggin' fan base. And I agree. You know, Von Doom, you're right. They're selling $250 accessories. You could use other ones, though. Like, you don't have to use that one. But Phil Spencer said back in the day, the reason why I put my games on PC, it's a different experience. Those people sit close to their TVs and play. When you're a TV, when you're a console game, you sit back with a controller. Well, then now you're merging everything. But what developer is going to fragment their player base on day one based on the controller that you're using? Gears 4 could not do that. Gears 4, after 3 months later, had to combine the playlists for Xbox and PC because the PC people had trouble finding games. And not only between 4 or 5 months after that, it was completely PC guys could play with Xbox guys. The only difference is that on Xbox, you could vote out that you don't want to play with the PC people. But the PC people have no other option because they were finding games on the Windows 10 store. It took long for them to matchmake, so they just opened up the player pool. And Sea of Thieves does the same thing now with no option. So now Microsoft has introduced this bullshit to I don't know who, and then people go, well, Gears Tactics is coming. Well, here's the bullshit. Razer comes in and says, here's a list of games that are going to support our system. I think it was like 20. A lot of them are kind of indie, like Warframe thing. I think Warframe's the first one and things like that. And then they go, Gears Tactics is on there. People are like, what? Gears Tactics coming to Xbox, told you. And PUBG was on there. PUBG, going to use keyboard and mouse on Xbox. Well, then that evening, PUBG was a mistake. Oops. Razer took it off their website. It's not going to have keyboard and mouse support. Then they come, oops. I'm like, wait a second. Now the list seems a little off. Yeah. Gears Tactics comes off the next day. Rod Ferguson made a real big point why Gears Tactics is going to PC. This is a PC game built for the PC. I'm going to laugh my ass off when that game comes out just on PC and you could use an Xbox controller on it. Because we know that the Xbox is totally capable of running this game. And if they decide to put it exclusively first on PC, it is such a PR move to entice Windows 10 people to buy PC games. Such a PR move, and it'll be a drastic kick in the nuts for Xbox console. Because I can't see Gears Tactics even being released. And think about what people are saying. Well, Gears Tactics is a PC keyboard and mouse game. That's why it's not on Xbox. Now that Xbox has keyboard and mouse, Gears Tactics will be there. Who? Who would put a keyboard and mouse only game on a console that ships with a fucking controller? Who? That is just a death wish. You're lucky you get maybe 10 people on a fucking playlist. A full game. And I want to see what dev puts a keyboard and mouse only game on an Xbox. That's a waste of time. So let's see where all this comes. But for everybody applauding this, you're just PC gamers that now can play on a console. That's great. And those people, I don't know who they are, but you know, when you talk to a PC player, they hate frames per they hate being restricted by frame rate. So I don't think those people are lining up to play on an inferior console with their keyboard and mouse. Probably only just to do it and just shoot people in the head and probably like own them, going like, "Oh, we win. PC Master Race is dominating the console space." Like for pride, maybe. But nobody is lining up to use keyboard and mouse support on this. And a $250 controller, keyboard and mouse, I don't know who's buying that shit. That thing's gonna that's a dust collector. If you haven't told me, that is a dust collector in the store. But yeah, that's what I just wanted to go. Like this keyboard and mouse thing, we'll see. I want to shout out to the 20 people or so watching. Thank you so much. I got to step out. I definitely wanted to talk about 2019. I have to cut it short because I got to go. But I want to definitely talk about 2019. I'll probably do that in another video. And my voice is again parched again because I just ranted about keyboard and mouse. But I wanted to say, you know, thank you again. Like, share the video out. You know, I'm going to do this. I'm looking at green screens. I might do some stuff. I do some streams, but, you know, they're just things that, and if you take anything, like I always say, it's about the games. And whatever platform is focusing on games is where I'm going to gravitate to and make it good games. And I'm hoping that Microsoft could bring me back there with their games and show me that they still have quality. Because right now it seems like they talk around the bush and talking about everything else besides the games. And I don't know if it's a stall tactic while they're getting their shit together with the games and then they're going to drop it. I think that's what a lot of people hope. That's what I hope, that they just come out and go, these are the games. You're coming back home, guys. This is where it's at. And all this other stuff they're talking about right now, stall tactics. I just say, please look at it for what it is. Take a back seat. Know that they're rebuilding. But stop trying to promote everything they do like it's a golden fucking ticket. Everything they do right now could be just washed up, not working. Just like Kinect, just like Cortana, just like everything else. Cortana's supposed to change the world, and now it's about Alexa. I think there's a new bitch in town. And I see people yelling at their TV with Alexa. I'm like, holy shit, it's 2013 again. Here we go. Let's start yelling at our fucking consoles to go loud and small. Cortana's down the backseat, bitch, and we got Alexa right now. Here we go. Come on. Stop yelling at your fucking TVs, okay? That's not what it's about. It's a gaming console for games. Make games or shut the fuck up. This has been Grinds My Gears. And to my grinders out there, I want to thank you very much. Happy New Year 2019. And I am out. Thank you again. Like and share the video. See you next time, guys.